Hello and welcome to my first tutorial about Spring Security. So what is Spring Security at all? Spring Security is a part of Spring Framework which handles authorization and authentication in Java web applications, which means it makes their content secure. So why should we even use Spring Security? The most obvious reason would probably be because it's easy to implement. It's easy to implement even to projects made with Vaadin web application framework, and not just in web projects made with Spring MVC. But nevertheless, in this case, I'll demonstrate implementation of Spring Security on Spring MVC project. So for that, I'll use my Eclipse IDE, and also I installed Spring Tool Suite plugin. You can also install Spring Tool Suite plugin by going Help, Eclipse Marketplace. Now you can type in something like Spring Tool, and you will install Spring Tool Suite depending on version of your Eclipse IDE. Version of mine, Eclipse IDE is 4.4 Luna. As you can see, I already installed this plugin. So now I'll create a new Spring MVC project by going New, File, New, Other, and choosing Spring Project. Let's click Next. Let's choose Spring MVC project. Project name will be like Spring Security Tutorial. Okay. Top level package will be like org Java Spring Security. Okay. Let's click Finish. And let's wait until Maven resolves our dependencies. This web dynamic project is by default Maven project. Let's open Home Controller. Let's delete content from Home method. Let's delete this and this too. Let's reformat everything. Let's also delete this. And as you can see, this Home method returns a home page, which is in src, main, web app, webinf, views, and here it is. Let's delete this too. And let's make this like hello from public page. Okay. Now I'll create another page called, let's call it private page. And I'll say like hello from private page. Okay. And I'll also create mapping for this private page. I'll create a method called like string private page. Okay, let's say return private page. The request mapping will be like admin private page. Request method will be get, of course. Okay, now let's run this on the server. Okay, as you can see, default page is home page, and it says hello from public page. Now I'll say admin private page. And as you can see, this page, private page JSP, is also public. And now our goal would be to protect this page from access to everyone. Let's make it private for something for only admins, for instance. Let's go back to our Eclipse IDE, and now it's moment when we are implementing Spring Security. So first thing we are going to do, we'll open our Spring folder under WebINF, app servlet, and servlet context, and we will update this XML schema. Okay. Don't worry, you have this on my GitHub profile. I'll push this project on my GitHub profile, of course. Now let's add Spring Security dependencies in our POM.xml. Okay. Let's open POM.xml source. Now let's paste those dependencies and wait for Maven to resolve them. Okay. Let's close POM.xml and let's now open WebXML. And let's paste this filter so we can use Spring Security. Okay. Now I'll create a new Spring Bean definition XML file called security context XML in my app servlet folder. And I'll paste this schema and close everything with these beans. Okay. And I'll pass URL to this security context file in my context param, which is in WebXML. So I'll click enter here as a param value, and I'll say WebINF Spring app servlet security context.xml, and that should be fine. Let's close the WebXML file, and let's start with protecting of our private page. So first thing I'll do is to say HTTP, and I'll say autoconfig true. Okay. And here I'll define URL which is going to be intercepted by Spring Security. So this URL will be secured, and that URL is admin. I can set that to admin private page, but also I can set admin /*, which means that every URL that follows admin will be secured. And it can be only accessed if user has a role called role admin. And here down below we will define our new user in authentication provider. So I'll say authentication manager, then I'll say authentication provider, user service, user, name of this user will be admin, password will be admin also, and authorities will be role admin. Okay, now let's run this again. So this should be minimalistic configuration for Spring Security. So let's run it again on Tomcat server. Okay, let's restart server. Now let's try again to access to our admin private page. And as you can see, you will be prompted to log in with your credentials. Now let's type something like random. Let's try to log in. And it will throw us an error which says your login attempt was not successful. Try again. Reason: bad credentials. And now let's actually try to log in with valid credentials, which is admin. And as you can see, we are redirected to our private page. So that should be it for this first tutorial. See you in next tutorial, where I'm going to explain you hashing of passwords.